Blackthorn Ridge. A name whispered, never shouted. The land itself seemed to hunch, a crooked spine against the unforgiving Tennessee sky. Trees clawed at the slopes, gnarled fingers scratching for a purchase in the shallow, rocky soil. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and something else, something ancient and cold. Nestled within the ridge, shrouded in a perpetual gloom, lay the hollow. A scar upon the land, locals called it. Mist clung to the hollow's depths, a spectral shroud obscuring its secrets. Few dared to venture near, and those who did spoke of a bone-chilling stillness, a silence so profound it hummed in your ears. The hollow was more than a geographical feature. It was a presence, a malignant entity that cast a long shadow over the entire ridge. It whispered on the wind, a siren song of dread that seeped into the very marrow. Even the sunlight seemed to shy away, leaving the hollow to its perpetual twilight. Legend had it that the hollow was born from a curse. Amos Blackthorn, a fire and brimstone preacher, had claimed dominion over these lands in the 1800s. Paranoid and cruel, he saw sin in every shadow, wickedness in every heart. He denounced his own congregation, branded them heretics, and cursed the very ground they walked on. Then, one moonless night, the earth split open. A chasm yawned, swallowing Blackthorn's homestead whole. The preacher was never seen again, but his rage, his madness, was said to have seeped into the earth, poisoning the hollow at its core. Over the years, whispers of strange occurrences clung to the hollow like cobwebs. Animals wouldn't go near. Birdsong ceased at its edge. Locals spoke of lights in the mist, of disembodied voices carried on the wind, whispers that chilled the blood and quickened the pulse with fear. The hollow was a hungry thing, they said, and its appetite was never sated. The year was 1997. 4 teenagers, restless and bored in their sleepy town, decided to tempt fate. There was Jake, the ringleader, always pushing boundaries, craving the adrenaline rush of the unknown. His girlfriend, Mary Beth, usually level-headed but blinded by her infatuation. Then there was Danny, the quiet one, forever trailing in Jake's shadow, desperately seeking approval. And finally there was Emily, the artist drawn to the hollow's melancholic beauty, oblivious to the danger that lurked beneath its alluring facade. They had heard the stories, of course. Every kid in town had. But they were just stories, weren't they? Ghost stories told around campfires meant to scare children. They were invincible, young and full of life, and the hollow held a dark allure they couldn't resist. It was a dare, a test of courage, a way to etch their names in local legend. They would be the ones to conquer the hollow, to come back with proof, with a story to silence all the others. They were wrong. The sun was already sinking below the tree line as they approached the hollow's edge. The air grew noticeably colder, the air thick with an unnatural stillness. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the frantic hammering of their hearts. Jake, ever the brave one, led the way, pushing through the undergrowth, his bravado a thin veil for the fear that flickered in his eyes. Mary Beth followed close behind, her hand tightly clasped in his, her usual cheerfulness replaced by a nervous silence. Danny, pale and sweating, stumbled after them, his eyes darting nervously into the encroaching darkness. Only Emily seemed unfazed, her gaze fixed on the play of light and shadow through the trees, her sketchbook clutched tightly in her hand. She saw beauty even in this desolate place, a haunting, melancholic beauty that whispered to her soul. They descended deeper into the hollow, the walls closing in around them, the trees twisting into grotesque shapes, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The light faded with every step until they were enveloped in an unnatural twilight. The air grew heavy, thick with the stench of decay and the cloying sweetness of overripe fruit. The hollow had them now, held them in its cold embrace.